Hey Dokkan nerds, it's been a while. ThundershotHQ back again with another amazing tip, tutorial, and how-to video. If you're new around here, first of all, ignore the little Dokkan nerds comment. It's just something I call on my adoring Dokkan fans out there. It's a little game we play. I don't mean anything by it, and they know that. Secondly, if you haven't heard of me, or maybe you have and you've forgotten, allow me to jog your memory. I'm ThundershotHQ. I've done a few things around the YouTube, Dragon Ball, maybe the Dokkan scene a little bit. I'm known for, I have a Dokkan world record. You can check that video out if you want. I've proven statistically on multiple occasions that multi-summons are actually better than single summons. Although things may have changed over the past couple of years, this data is old. But regards to that, I've also branched out into games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where I have a video demonstrating how to get your characters, your custom characters' hair to spike up when you go Super Saiyan, because that was a big problem over there. So naturally, ThundershotHQ just went over there and solved it like he always does. Now, I'm not going to sit here and ramble on about my accomplishments all day. If I was going to, we'd be here a long time, let me tell you. But you're not here to hear about that. You're here to get what's the video title about? What's the video thumbnail about? T-Shot, what are you on? How to become a permanently free-to-play player in Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle. One of the hardest games to maintain free-to-play them in. But T-Shot has a surefire method to becoming a free-to-play player and sticking to it. And I know you guys think T-Shot's a kidder out there, so no, I'm just going to spoil it for you now. At the end of the video, I don't say, oh, delete the app. If you just delete the app, then you're free to play forever. So I just cleared out half the comment section with their terrible jokes and a lot of people who thought maybe I was joking and that's what I was leading to. And I promise you that's not the case. I have a couple helpful tips. We're going to start with the basics and then we're going to work our way up. A couple helpful tips for everybody, free to play or even non-free to play and just looking to cut back on their Dragonstone spending. But mostly we're aiming for the free-to-play only players. I'm trying to help them out as much as possible. We're going to work our way up, and then at the end of the video, guys, I'm going to drop an absolute bombshell on you. Surefire method to be free-to-play, stick to free-to-play, and still have as much as possible, as much fun as possible with Dokkan Battle, which it's Dokkan Battle, so the bar is pretty low. It was surprisingly easy to come up or to discover a method that would allow you to stay entirely free-to-play and still have as much fun with Dokkan Battle as possible. So staying entirely free-to-play and doing the best you can in Dokkan Battle. First, I'm going to start with the basics. Like I said, we're starting small, starting with the basics, going to work our way up, and then T-Shot bombshell. ThundershotHQ bombshells. Gonna hit you right in the mouth when we get there on how to stay free-to-play. But basics. Back to the basics. Dragonstones, as everyone who plays Dokkan knows, are an essential and also very finite resource in Dokkan Battle, okay? You don't get very many Dragonstones. It might seem like you do at first, but overall, you definitely don't get very many Dragonstones at first. And Dragonstones, while used for a lot of things that are really important, the main thing they're used for is getting more and better cards, which is sort of the point of the game. Now, I actually consulted some of my Dokkan bros, as I like to call them. You may have heard of them before. I'll just name drop a couple of them here. I actually consulted some of my Dokkan bros to help me out with some information in this video. You may have heard of Rhyme Style, Nanogenics, Indikuba, and even ZZ Toasty. They helped me out with a lot of information in this video, so if, any of the information I'm spitting out to you guys that's right, it's probably came from them. If I give you guys any information, if I accidentally give any misinformation in this video, any information out there that's just wrong, I didn't get it from them, I probably got it from a YouTube comment section, but that's beside the point. Anyway, some of the stats they helped me dig up is that when you start Dokkan Battle, like I was saying earlier, you have a very finite amount of Dragonstones to use, and you need to spend them wisely. You get about 1,000 Dragonstones total just from beating the main story and going through the game. And then on top of the main story, once you're out of ways to collect Dragonstones that way, through playing events and beating events, and then along with your daily login bonus, you get about 200 Dragonstones per month. Now that may sound like a lot, but once you run out of Dragonstones, it's very slow going to get them back. 200 a month sounds like a lot, it's not. That's about 4 multi-summons a month. If you were to take the amount of Dragonstones total you get from Dokkan Battle and compare it to another gacha game, like let's say Dragon Ball Legends maybe. Dragon Ball Legends gives you gems to spend on Dragonstones constantly. They have many ways to make spending your gems easier and more efficient for you, so it's better overall for the player. And on top of that, they're giving you a lot more gems. Now, we're not dealing with a game like Dragon Ball Legends where they just throw gems at you and you don't really need to spend money on it. We're dealing with Dokkan Battle and the finite source, and that's why I feel like a video like this was really needed, especially by me in the year 2018. So one big tip I can give you right off the bat with Dokkan Battle is that there are different banners that cycle out. You guys know them. Some had good cards, some just have okay cards. Some have cards you really need, or LRs, or the really special ones, and all this kind of stuff. But how should you be spending your stones on these banners? And the hardest answer is that some of them you actually shouldn't be spending on at all. whether the card they have is good but doesn't quite fit your team, or maybe they have an overall okay card, but it's just nothing actually worth spending your Dragonstones on. And a really helpful tip I can give for this one is to stalk the Reddit thread on Dokkan Battle. I believe it's just our Dokkan Battle, but Dokkan Battle has its own Reddit thread, and people actually report the summon rates over there. So they can tell you if a card, if they have a higher chance of pulling an SSR, if the chance of pulling an SSR are really low on this banner. And if you find a card that fits your team pretty well and has a high SSR pull rate, then that's how you know that, hey, I might want to spend my Dragonstones on this banner until I get that card, because my odds are higher than they're ever going to be. Now, unfortunately for Dokkan Battle, they don't have any kind of really like daily bonus. Like, they have a daily login bonus, but they don't have a bonus for making you do summons like once a day or something. Like, I have my phone pulled up, I have a lot of apps on it, and if I were to pick any random one, like, I guess Dragon Ball Legends is right here. Dragon Ball Legends is a good one. It has something called like a daily discount summon, to where if you want to do single summons daily, it's like a fifth of the price of a normal summon. So you can actually, it encourages you to log in daily and then do summons daily, where you're likely to get good cards, and it actually takes less of the currency than normal to get that. But unfortunately, Dokkan Battle doesn't have that kind of thing, which is why we have to be careful with our summons and spending there. Another thing that might drain your Dokkan Battle stones that you're going to want to look out for is Dokkan Battle runs out of box space pretty easily. I think they've kind of changed things so it's not as bad over the years, but for the most part, you run out of box space. Basically what happens is when you spend your stones to summon those characters, you have a limited box space, and that box space will fill up over time. And once it gets completely full, you have to decide if it's worth it to spend your Dragonstones to expand the box, or if you need to get rid of some characters. Some of them might be valuable to your team. Like, you might run out of like dump bad characters to get, and you might be forced to either expand your box or get rid of a really valuable character, and you don't want to have to do that. So being sure, like 100% sure, whether it's worth it to spend your 5 or 10 Dragonstones, however much it is, to expand your box, because again, your resources are finite, you're limited on Dragonstones, and while it feels like you have a lot in the beginning, you run out very fast. So my advice there is only keep the absolute best cards that you have. You know, maybe have enough for a couple teams, but if there's some more lackluster, people say never get rid of SSRs, but there's a lot of SSRs that nothing good ever happens to them, or it takes a very long time for something good to happen to them. So I'd say have a couple teams ready, full of your best SSR cards that you need, and kind of ditch everything else aside from that. Keep that box space. You don't want to keep it as limited as possible. Maybe wait for a free box space upgrade to come out, but only spend the stones that are absolutely necessary there. Now, it is pretty unfortunate for Dokkan that it has this limited box space. Let me, I'm ThundershotHQ. Let me ask the big man. Hey, T-Shot. Thunder.
Yeah.
If you could compare the box space in Dokkan Battle to, like, a gacha game with better box space, maybe, what would the best, you think Duel Links? Would you compare it to Duel Links?
No, probably not Duel Links.
Well, not Duel Links. What would you compare it to then?
Well, I'd compare it to Dragon Ball Legends.
Alright, so the big man said Dragon Ball Legends, so we'll just compare the box space in Dokkan to the box space in Dragon Ball Legends. Dragon Ball Legends doesn't actually have box space. All the junk characters that you get in Dokkan Battle, you can get multiple of them. You can get like 250 like little R Gohans that take up space in your box, and it's annoying to keep having to refresh your box and clear it out over and over again of all those useless cards. Dragon Ball Legends, a game like that, actually gets rid of that problem by only allowing you to have one kind of card at any time. You can't have more than one of the same card on a team anyway, without using a friend, of course, or something like that, whether it's in Dokkan or Legends. So there's really no point in being able to even draw more than one of that card. So if you draw more than one of that card, the game automatically feeds it, in Legends, of course, the game automatically feeds it into the card that you already have. If you draw a second one, the game just shoves it into the first one, and it makes the first card even better. It's a really cool system, and it frees up box space. You don't actually have box space. You don't have to spend gems to free your box space up, anything more like that. It's a really cool idea, but like I said, unfortunately, we're not exactly dealing with that in Dokkan Battle, so again, you want to be very careful with spending your stones and limiting your box space. Yes, it's going to be extremely annoying to go back and clear your box space out every time you do summons of all the crap cards, but in the end, it will be worth it, because it'll keep you more Dragonstones, it'll allow you to do more summons. Okay, so moving on to our next tip, and this is our last tip that I can think of before I drop the big but don't think T-Shot's forgot about it. Don't think ThundershotHQ has forgot about the bombshell. This is the last tip I can give before I drop the big guaranteed how to stay free to play bombshell. All right, this is the last small one, then we're gonna get to it. But the last thing that I have off the top of my head that I know is just gonna help out a bunch of free to play only Dokkan Battle players is Dokkan Battle has a stamina system. much like many gacha games, where after you've played so much of the game, after, you know, because the whole point of playing the game is to have fun, and it actually doesn't cost dragon stones to play through the story mode or events. That's how you have fun in the game, is by playing it. But they've put a tax on that also, so basically after you play the game for so long, you're going to run out of stamina. Once you reach the higher levels particularly, but you're going to run out of stamina. And once you do, the game's going to ask you to spend dragon stones to refill your stamina. But you don't want to spend your dragon stones on stamina at any cost. You're basically just gonna have to sit there and be bored and wait it out. Because if you wait long enough, your stamina will come back and you'll be able to continue playing the game again. And that's really where all the fun is. That's really where all you pop in the bubbles is just a blast. So a main problem with Dokkan Battle is that you can't really do anything once you're out of stamina other than be bored or turn off the app or whatever. It doesn't really have any kind of alternative method of fun that doesn't cost dragon stones or stamina in that regard, which is pretty upsetting because you can really pick any gacha game. In fact, I've drawn a list here on this piece of paper, and it's got any random gacha game that has a good solution to this. I've put it on my list, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop my pen, I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to drop the pen. It's going to land on this paper here, and whatever game it happens to land on, that'll be the game that we compare it to. We'll see if that game has a better system for when you're bored and out of stamina. So let me just close my eyes here. The pen will leave a dot. When I drop it on the paper, whatever game it landed on, well, you'll see the dot. And wow, would you look at that? It says Legends, and then there's a little dot. You can see the dot that it left right there. But it says, I guess we'll just compare it to Dragon Ball Legends by chance. So Dragon Ball Legends, when you run out of stamina, because it does have a similar stamina system, but instead of being bored and doing nothing, there's actually an entire online multiplayer, and you can play against other people with your team, which is crazy because Dokkan really doesn't have anything like that. They've talked about online multiplayer a lot, but over the years they've never actually done it. Legends actually did it, and it doesn't cost stamina. So if you run out of stamina in Legends, you don't have to be bored. In fact, you can do the opposite. You can have some of the most fun in the game by going on and playing against your friends or random people who are similar to your skill level. Maybe your team's better than theirs, and you really just beat them into the ground. It's a great time, and you actually earn rewards, so you're gaining more without spending anything. No dragon stones, no stamina, no nothing. You're just playing online, having a blast, and you get a bunch of good stuff back in return for, you know, beating other people and leveling up your online rank and getting your daily wins in online and all this crazy stuff. It's just a bundle of joy. I can't express it enough. But like I said, unfortunately, Dokkan doesn't have anything like that. And that's really it for my smaller tips on how to stay free to play in Dokkan Battle. Again, we haven't dropped the bombshell yet, the big one, the how to surefire free to play, no memes on Dokkan Battle. I'm still going to let that out. But as far as those tips I just gave, those tips are helpful for people who maybe want to cut back on their spending, maybe don't want to spend as much on Dokkan Battle. You know, you're okay with spending, you know, 5, 10, 20 bucks here and there, maybe once a month, but you want to cut back because Dokkan might be ruining your life because it's like a gambling problem, or maybe you're a child and you shouldn't be allowed to gamble at all. Maybe some country has a solution to that. I don't know. But anyway, and then those tips are absolutely necessary for people who want to be free to play. Everything I just said, those tips are absolutely necessary if you want to be free to play, but those tips aren't going to help you as much as this next one. Is everybody ready? Are we going to drop the bombshell? This is not something I've seen recommended by any other Dokkan tuber, any Reddit thread, anything like that. Haven't seen it recommended. You're going to find this kind of thing only from ThundershotHQ. So, the big reveal, what can we do as Americans, or whatever country you're from, I don't care. What can we do to promise that we will stay free to play in Dokkan Battle? The answer is move to Belgium! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, move to Belgium. As you may have noticed when you open your Dokkan app recently. Now, don't click off the video just yet. Oh, ThundershotHQ was trolling me again. I've got some insight that no one else has. Maybe you'd like to see it first before you flip out on me, all right? Now, some insight in case you haven't seen it or in case you skip past all the notifications. Belgium has recently passed a law that was aimed at banning loot boxes. You remember the big loot box fiasco from EA and Star Wars Battlefront 2? Well, they realized that that was essentially gambling on games, and while games are played by everyone, games are aimed at children, mostly. So they realized through video games that these companies were trying to target mainly kids for purposes of gambling. You know what I mean? If you're an adult and you go to a casino, you put 20 bucks in a slot machine, you gamble. Maybe you come out with nothing, maybe you win real money you can take home. But in the case of a video game, number one, it's not limited to adults 18 or 21 or older or however. It's anyone can do it. Anyone can spend a credit card on it, anyone can steal their mom's purse or whatever. And spend money in it. And not only that, you're not getting anything, you're not getting money back out of the game. You put 500 Dragon Stones in the Dokkan Battle, even if you get all SSRs, you're not getting any money back out of the game. You're getting game stuff, which when the servers to Dokkan Battle eventually shut down, will be worth nothing. Now, I went on a little bit of a tangent to kind of explain the case right there, but I actually have the message lined up right for you, courtesy of Nanogenics, and the Dokkan Battle home screen, and I'll just read it for you here, but it says, important notice for Belgian players. Earlier this year, Belgian Gaming Commission decided that gambling for kids was wrong. I'm paraphrasing that they said it. It's in there. And at this point, here we go, second paragraph, that's where it gets important. Starting today, players in Belgium are no longer entitled and will be unable to purchase Dragon Stones, summon tickets, or any item pack that contains those items. Belgian players will still, however, be able to use the summon feature using Dragon Stones, I think is what they're saying, that is earned through gameplay or that is given out at part-time game events. We understand this will have an impact, yada yada, we still hope you enjoy Dragon Ball Z. Now here's the real bombshell. A lot of you guys already knew about the Belgian thing, but the real bombshell that you're only going to get from ThundershotHQ, you see, ThundershotHQ has an edge. He has an edge because he thinks outside the box. He does these things that other Dokkan tubers won't do. He does these things that people, maybe even in the Reddit world, I don't visit the Reddit often, not gonna lie, won't think to do. You don't see this kind of thing on Twitter. You don't see this kind of thing on Facebook. You only see this kind of from ThundershotHQ, okay? Now, what did I do? I took an app. I downloaded an app on my phone that allows me to change my phone's location to wherever I want. And I put it in Belgium. I set my phone's location to Belgium. And the results may surprise you. Because unlike everyone else playing the game, when I booted up Dokkan Battle, after I got this screen, after I got this important notice, there was this second notice screen afterwards. And I asked around, I was asking my Dokkan bros, I was asking, I didn't put it out on Twitter because I didn't want to give away what I was doing, but I hadn't heard from anyone else about this second screen still for Belgian players after the thing. So it must have been something that was only sent out to people with their phones located in Belgium. So after looking into it and flipping over to the second screen, I read it, and I read it over and over, this second page, time and time again. And I could not make heads or tails of it. Absolutely could not figure out what this second page was trying to say. I really can't make out the message. You know what? YouTube comment section's always full of a bunch of geniuses. I'm just going to put the second message on screen here in a second, and I'll let you guys decide. Again, I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but let's see. YouTube comment section, can you guys maybe decipher this message? One thing that helped me was to read between the lines a little bit. I think it helped me clear up a little bit just to look in between, maybe in between the words and what's being said there. But I really couldn't figure it out on my own. Anyways, another day, another problem solved by ThundershotHQ. He did it again, everyone, and he'll be here to do it more in the future. So now ThundershotHQ can rest easy knowing that he solved another problem, knowing that all the Dokkan Battle players who want to be free to play for real are about to pack up their bags with him and move over to Belgium, where we can certainly be and stay free to play for life. Gotta thumb my FTPs out there. But ThundershotHQ has once again left the online world a better place than he found it. That's what I'm here for. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you really enjoyed this video, go ahead and follow me on my Twitch channel. It's where most of my content is now. And if you're angry about this video, well, ThundershotHQ has another solution for you. Download Dragon Ball Legends on your iPhone or Android today. Surprisingly enough, this video was not sponsored by Dragon Ball Legends. Have a good one, everybody.